abandoned armored car of the Chevrolet ESU 1942 Police Special Forces SWAT. What is it? An attribute for a movie in the style of Mad Max, or rather Jeepers Creepers? A gun truck of one of the Colombian mafias or some African freedom fighters? Or is it was built by airsoft players for their missions? Well, we may have plenty of different thoughts, but the fact is that this is a real police special transport, and it is the last thing we could even think about. Things are more than they appear. This is a 1942 Chevrolet ESU, and its abbreviation stands for Emergency Service Unit, the old name for a SWAT vehicle. SWAT is its new name now. The police did not have any standard armored cars at that time. Until the early 1940s, even American president used ordinary cars. And the first armored car known in the United States, and indeed in the world, was Al Capone's Cadillac. By the way, after its confiscation, even President Roosevelt used the car. But let's get back to this rusty chariot. In fairness, until the last moment, we couldn't believe that this car has something to do with the police. But then we found a photo of this car standing in the open area of the Connecticut State Police Museum. For a long time, it stood in the backyard awaiting restoration. But now it was decided to put the car up for auction. The armored van was based on a 1942 Chevrolet truck. The exact model is unknown, but by the indirect signs, we can guess that it is a Chevy truck 1.5 ton, a fairly common truck at the time, with an inline 6-cylinder carburetor engine. The front end from International Harvester was installed later, probably during some restorations. The body is an armored capsule with porthole windows, under which there are small loopholes. The same windows are in the hinged back doors, which can be straightened from the inside by putting a heavy armor plate. On the roof, there is a small stationary turret with holes, from which they could also shoot. A windshield with additional protection, an armored shield, which can be lowered, the same as in military armored carriers. But the driver's side window does not have such additional protection, although there is also an embrasure. Look at the wheels. Both axles have dual tires, and between the wheels there are steel spacers about 15 to 20 mm thick installed. On the outside, the wheels are also protected, so even if the outer slope breaks through, the inner one remains working. The same system is on the front axle. The car is equipped with a hydraulic booster, but still, a considerable effort was required for the driver when driving. The motor was also working hard. A 105 horsepower carburetor engine designed for a 1.5 ton truck hardly drove this huge unit that weighs almost 6 tons. However, it was not worth it to speed up because the brakes remained standard with drum brakes on all wheels. A single circuit system with some kind of vacuum booster, or rather hydro vacuum, which is actually not very useful. It seems that the motor can even be started, but during the last attempt to move the armored car under its own power, the drive shafts was cut off, which is not surprising. We think that when this van was in use, the drive shafts on it changed at the same time as the brake pads. At first, this car seems to be non-useful as a police transport, but with a closer look, it was made when there was nothing like that, no standards, and the only important parameter was the survival of both the transport itself and the crew. And this car was coping with its tasks. The body can withstand shelling from any small arms that exists at that time. Don't forget to subscribe and like it. Thanks for sharing, and bye bye.